Rave it, baby.
Yeah, with the fan.
Yeah, that's great. It also makes your head look tiny because your shoulders are somehow closer to us. Yeah. You hate it? Yeah, they hate it. I think it's because it looks like for the point of view of your dick looking back up at you. I think that's what the boys are saying. So it it will be good for your gay fans. I probably will get some extra messages in the DMs this week for it, but
How's that? It's darker, but
it's darker.
Moving all over this house.
Have you been like doing prison workouts? You look kind of you look beefy up top. Have you been working out? Oh, is it just holding the baby maybe? Oh, okay.
No, I've been working out.
Huh? Shit, he said, I'm so glad we're recording. I didn't know that. Well, hi.
Are you mad you gave me a compliment on mic? Is that what happened? I don't know.
I'm mad I gave you that compliment on mic. That's not, I have plenty of compliments for you.
Yeah, eventually I get to this point with everyone in my life.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't want me to win, and it has to be me.
What? I want you to win. That's not it at all.
You don't want me to have nice shoulders. You're mad that you said
you have nice shoulders. That is an indisputable fact. You have nice shoulders.
You're mad about it.
I'm not mad about it. Why would I be mad? I'm mad that you think I don't think you should have good nice shoulders.
Why are you upset you said it on mic?
Oh, I mean, I was jokingly because of the whole angle from your dick thing with the boys. It had nothing to do with that. Oh God. Yeah, exactly. See, it had have nothing to do with that. You also inferred a lot. You said some big ass statements that this happens with everyone. They don't want you to win. None of that. It had none of that. I was just I didn't want the beginning of our podcast when I haven't seen you in 3 weeks to be like, you got some beefy ass shoulders, bro. That's all. It was more that.
By the way, this is where I was going with that before you just berated me.
What?
It's my fault, and this is why. The way I just made you feel right now is why eventually everyone's like, don't compliment him. Just like, he's such a dick. Don't give him anything.
Yeah.
So that's where I was going with that, is like, it does happen with everyone, Carmen, but it is my fault. This right now is why.
Yeah.
Because I could have just been like, oh, cool, thanks.
Sure. No, but if we could do that, we wouldn't be comedians.
I know. And it seems like all those other people are happy.
It does. It does. But I think that's, I mean, I'm okay with that not in the I want to be a martyr or anything like that. But I don't mind if I'm a little bit more sad for me to make other people feel good, though. I don't mind that as a role. As a job.
Yeah.
I think I feel like it's the same mentality as somebody who does something that's not, either a person that collects garbage or a person that like a nurse, any of those things where it's like, it kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, you guys are paying for me to exist, so I make you feel good. I mean, to me, that's.
I agree with all that as long as I can sell enough tickets most weekends. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
If I'm like 60,
yeah,
and I'm still like, I don't know, we're gonna do a one-nighter, and then I'm gonna be like, no, it actually really sucks to be sad and defensive and all these things that made me funny, and also
broke. Yeah. I did give up healthcare and in a future plan. Having that said, please go see live stand-up comedy. It is apparently a dying art form, which happened in the last 6 months, unless you're Tony Hinchcliffe. So please go see independent artists. Please go see live stand-up of somebody that's not famous and overcharging you for a fucking ticket. Please do that.
Dude, Hinchcliffe phenomenon. I think it's getting so ubiquitous, though, that it's like, and this kind of sucks in some ways. It's good, but it kind of sucks because I'm bitter. I think it's good. I think it's becoming good. like it's such a launch into a career that actually great people are trying to get involved with it.
Yeah.
And of course, Tony's like, "Oh, actual funny people want to be on my show? That's never happened before. Come on in, guys." And it's like it's gonna validate itself. Do you know what I mean? Like it's because Cam Patterson's very funny. Fiona just did it. She's hilarious. Sam Tallent's starting to do the panel. Shane Gillis is doing the panel all the time. It's like you and I are gonna know, but the world is like, "Oh, Kill Tony's rad, dude. He's got the funniest people on it."
Yeah.
And we're just like.
I think for me, and this is also, it's conspiratorial, but I feel like I've witnessed enough of it that it's based in something. But he's from like the Don Barris era, the man who made Windy City Heat, the guy who made a movie basically making fun of the mentally ill. And I mean, what are 22-year-old stand-up comedians in quotes, if not mentally ill?
Right. It's just crazy they found a market for that. But I'm not bitter that they found a market for that. For a while, the 4 or 5 names that got launched from Kill Tony were just people that I found not just unfunny, but like personally offensive. And I don't mean like, oh, your jokes were offensive. I mean like it offended me that I got put in the same category as some of these people.
Yeah.
But I no longer feel that way.
Yeah.
Kill Tony's really been crushing it for me lately in terms of, oh, they launched that person? Cool. I still don't watch. But hey, let's not do inside baseball. Not today.
Nope. I haven't seen it in so long. I think that's what it is. we had to get it out. But at the end of the day, no, truly, please go see stand-up comedy by not famous comedians who are overcharging you for tickets. Please.
Speaking of, everyone knows my show that is supposed to be the day this comes out in Asheville is obviously canceled. Some people asked me, and I made a video making fun of those people, but I realized, I think they asked like reflexively.
Yeah, like how is it going to matter?
Like early on, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, oh, there's some flooding in Asheville. Drew, is your show going to be there? And then like I got the messages 7 hours later.
Yeah, once it was like, already a nightmare. Yeah.
And I was like, I was mad. Like I didn't make a video mad, but I made a video being kind of mean. I was like, what's wrong with you people? But then I realized I was like, oh, like they're just like, oh, there's a storm. Drew, you going to be there? And then the storm, devolved. You know what happened.
Yeah. It's yeah, I'm from Florida. Are you kidding me?
You were there, right?
I was there, and we were on the east side, so it was a rushed funeral, because there was a storm coming. So that was like the most that we got. It was like a lot of wind and some rain. Because it was just the outside bands, so in a hurricane, the most dangerous part is the part right around the eye. And then the bands, the most dangerous part about them are the gusts. So because you don't get the consistency of it being over you all the time, you just get the big whooshes. So we were ended up being okay. And it was actually pretty sweet in that, like, the rain stopped just in time for the Cuban guy to bring up God, even though my grandfather wasn't religious. So it was nice at the end of the day, I guess. We threaded the needle as far as Helene goes, but others were not so fortunate.
So Florida has Cubans that do that. We have Baptists, and they always do it. I've always wanted to write a joke about it, but I feel like it's kind of niche. It's always so weird around here when someone passes and they weren't religious, and then the preacher feels like they have to bring up the concept of heaven.
Yes.
Because it's like that's like the whole basis of evangelical Christianity is to tell people about how to get into heaven.
Right.
And I think at its very basic level, you could call it noble. Like, you think heaven and hell are real. Mm-hmm. And you want everyone to go to the right one. Mm-hmm. And you think there's this specific but also weirdly metaphorical way to do it, which is like accept Jesus, whatever that means.
Right.
But then it turns you into an insane person. Where like someone's dead relative is right there, and then you're telling everyone, don't Don't be like him.
Right. Well, not even don't be like him. It wasn't like that. It was just like, this is a time to convert. This isn't the time to convert people. And I get it, especially for churches now, because they're at an all-time low as far as attendance and people not giving a shit about
Wonder
them.
why.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to this funeral and make everyone feel worse.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of my thing. Like he was pulling out all the stories, the Saul and Paul story, and this one I was just like, knowing that at the fucking viewing, I slipped a little bottle of fucking Johnny Walker Black in his pocket to take with him. Like, you're barking up the wrong fucking tree. What?
He's gonna need it in hell.
Yeah.
Which is where he's at right now, Carmen. And I wanted to remind you of that while we're here at the funeral.
Yeah.
Cubans are Catholic.
I didn't know what that guy was, but maybe.
He probably believes in purgatory, and I've always been envious of that aspect of people who were raised that way, because it's like, for me, I mean, I had like that genuine, it fucked me up. Like I was like, oh, this grandfather's going to hell. It would have been nice to be like, or he'll go to purgatory and we'll pray him in, you know?
Mm-hmm. That is a nice loophole to be like, if somebody
we're Catholics got all the loopholes.
Yeah, they do. Jesus Christ.
Loophole. They got the you're not allowed to have sex unless it's with a kid loophole for priests. They got the purgatory loophole.
The purgatory.
There's one more, because I was thinking about this recently. I forgot it.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know.
Oh, confession. Confession's a loophole.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you rat on yourself.
The priest, my bad.
If you rat on yourself, I feel like there is a that one's one of the ones I think is a good practice, not in the way that they do it, because the way that they do it is creepy, but in that if you're an asshole, copping to it and apologizing, I think is great. Is that me and Keishan were talking about this, because she has like a pact with a friend of hers. Anytime she's awful in a retail situation, she has to go back and apologize to the person. And
that's good.
Yes, that's good. So that's what I'm saying. I was like, in that, because confession is the same kind of concept, is that you're not holding in anything bad that you did. So I do think that there is. I always thought the Bible was like Beowulf. It's just a really good storybook. There's plenty of lessons in it. It's just not to be followed like it happened.
I don't know, Carmen. Did that wolf die for your sins, then come back 3 days later after defeating hell and the devil? I don't think so. So I don't know where you got off on that tangent, but
Beowulf is a person. Beowulf is a person.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Jordan Peterson University. We got 2 majors and 2 suits. We wear them at the same time. We're going to owe a confession and an apology to everyone listening right now, who they're all going, so is DJ dead? Why have you not said a fucking thing about your friend who lives right in the path of the hurricane? DJ
He is not dead.
Fine. I wouldn't say he's great.
It's not great. That's why he's not with us. There's no internet there yet. We're he's
physically, he and his are good. I've spoken with him. I think Bobby Freaky Tiki came and visited them today.
Oh, nice.
Or maybe I got the picture a day or 2 late, because that's kind of been happening some. But yeah, DJ's good without internet. His community, he's pretty upset and worried. He's worked a couple shifts. They did cash only for a little while. He's not. How did he phrase it? My conspiracy theory brain is in overdrive right now, and it's not good for me.
Yeah.
Which is not to say he thinks that the hurricane is a conspiracy. I think what he means, though, is.
But that's, to me, those are the theories where I think it's hilarious. Where you think anyone can control the weather.
Dude, Andy sent me this video from TikTok. Have you seen the blue jellies?
No.
You don't know what the blue jelly is?
No, enlighten me.
Okay, so first of all, let's start
I've
with
been in a deep dive in all of this Diddy shit, so that's like the only kind of thing I've been digging into. So go ahead. So what's the blue?
Too,
Okay.
KY jelly. Okay. First of all, let's start with some things that are real, just as a baseline.
Okay.
Cloud seeding as a concept does exist.
Yes.
There are various reasons different scientists and companies are doing it.
Mhm.
Some are probably a lot more malicious than others. I'll grant anyone that.
Mhm.
Some of it has to do with climate change and scientists who I think are trying to slow it down. Some of it, I'm sure, has to do with crops. And I'm sure some of it has to do with like fucking stealing rainwater or some shit. I don't know.
Mhm.
One of the ways I think supposedly that they do it are these very light things that they can put up now. It's very twistery. So there's been a couple of instances, not in America, keep that in mind, of it raining blue jellies. It's some sort of man-made thing falls with the rain.
Okay.
And of course, as it should, that makes everyone go, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So this lady made this TikTok about blue jellies. First of all, neither in the beginning, middle, or end, because I kept waiting on it to come back. She never was like, and they found blue jelly. I thought at the end it was going to be like, and guess what they found in Asheville? Blue jellies. But they didn't.
Okay.
She's just like, blue jellies were found in Durban, South Africa. How does this connect to Hurricane Helene? Watch for more. And then she goes through what these blue jellies are made out of
Mm-hmm.
and how they transfer heat very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Then she changes to a different type of blue jelly material that, as far as I know, has never made earthfall. It's just like she just found a different blue jelly.
Okay. Like a different brand or different
different
product?
blue jellies that they found in Durban,
Mhm.
and they transfer heat, and maybe this has something to do with trying to control the weather. And also, there's a blue substance called this that is good for sound waves. She never says, and this substance was found. She never says, this substance was put into the atmosphere. She just said, I've also found there is a blue substance that transfers sound waves very quickly.
Okay.
Then she cuts back to Hurricane Helene and like one video, and it's like this. She's like, what is that sound? Is it sonar trying to control weather or some shit? Carmen, it's nuts.
Yeah, this sounds like an amateur theorist. This is like a person who doesn't know how to splice misinformation together to prove a point yet. Like, because they're all over the place.
I think you're wrong. I think you're right for you.
Okay.
I think what you said is a true statement that it's not a skill that you and I think she has.
Mm.
I went to the comments. I couldn't find a single negative comment. Now, that clearly means she's deleting them. But
Yeah.
there's so many comments, and she's only one person. Most of the comments were things like, you're getting too close, girl. Be careful. They're going to shut you down. People legitimately think that we can, as humans, control the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Have chosen to do so
Mm-hmm.
in America.
Yeah.
Specifically with this hurricane, to get rid of Asheville. Do you know why, Carmen?
Why?
There is a quartz mine, and this is true, by the way, in Spruce Pine, North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
that has a particular type of quartz in it that is currently the only viable option for certain, I think, microprocessors. I'm starting to get hazy on the wording. The point is, the tech industry needs this mine. Now, here's the kicker. The floods have ruined that. Like, their theory is like, they flooded Asheville so they could control the mine. Well, they fucked up because the mine's flooded, dog, and nobody can get in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other.
Now, what is going to happen in the next 2 months is that all the land around there will be dirt cheap all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
and the worst people in the world will buy it and
Yeah,
turn
see,
it into
that's
a larger
where
mine.
that's where you get to me where humans are. That's where like the stuff with Maui, like, no, I definitely think Oprah and The Rock were opportunistic about a time when everything was fucked up. Now that's a theory you could get me behind. Rich people acting like rich people, that's a constant. Yes, I believe that. But also, David Attenborough has been talking about how there's been slowing down fucking cloud formation over the ocean. He's been talking about it for several years. So no, I don't think. Do I think? I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about the blue jellies to argue specifically the blue jellies part. But
it's just wild to me. Genuinely, borderline unfathomable.
Mm-hmm.
That this human is the same human. The one who goes, I looked into the climate change thing. So it's a little far-fetched.
I mean, yes, at the end of the day, anything green where they're like, that's far-fetched, but at the same time, the Jews are making the hurricanes? Come on!
The blue jelly Jews.
The blue jelly
Now that's something I believe in. And think about it. Blue Jew, put it together, guys. Let's all wake up. Today's episode is sponsored by Blue Jew. Go
to bluejew.com, put in the promo code Gravy Baby for 20% off.
It's that they're the same person.
Yes.
It's like, I understand weirdo, anarchist, everything's ridiculous. People who are like, global warming, that's something that they're making up to control us, bro. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, so that's too far-fetched for you.
Yeah.
But then you're going to go with blue jelly?
Yes. Yeah. So wait, are they talking about like the theory from basically Twisters where they put the shit that's inside diapers to control the amount of humidity in a thing to make a storm less? Is it that? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And Twister lifted that from a paper someone had written. So I'm not suggesting that these things haven't been attempted. Mm-hmm. But here's my thing on it. This is like if you saw the Wright brothers fly that plane 100 feet and literally turned to your friend in that exact moment and said, they've been flying to the sun. That's how far we are from like floating these blue jellies up to you sent a hurricane to Asheville
for the quartz mine.
I've been
listen, if a company was able to pull off
back, this is a moment too late.
This is the why it's bullshit. Is if a company was capable of making a hurricane, don't you think they would have put a advertisement in the middle of it? You know what I mean? Had a banner flying around, bro. There's no way.
Helene.
Yeah.
Somebody would be like, let's wait till like R rolls around and name it Raytheon.
They're going to want some brand recognition if you're able to make a fucking hurricane. No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's
that's
silly.
Where you're wrong, Carmen. This is just like when you shit on the Bible. What you're not seeing is God's plan.
I believe that before I believe the blue jellies, dude.
100%. 100%. God just really, really hates street poets and jugglers. And
I was going to say Trustafarians, but okay.
We said the same thing. And so he was like, fuck that city, dude.
Yeah. But also, we have a lot of fans in Asheville, and we genuinely hope you're okay. What? I said we have a lot of fans in Asheville, and I genuinely hope you guys are okay. We're just making fun of all the rhetoric around it.
Let's say that. They're not.
They're not, yeah.
I'm sure they're all physically okay. Mm-hmm. But also, to be fair, not that this is like great, but just in terms of what this discussion, most of our fans live outside of Asheville.
Yeah.
Because rent was $1 bajillion. They have to go down.
Yeah.
And it's horrific. And for people who haven't looked into it, I had to put my phone down earlier. I was reading this passage of a woman I'm going to get upset, who had arrived at an old person's home. Mm-hmm. The humanity there on the ground, we're not going to know for a while, but I think the numbers are much bigger. And honestly, if they're not, it means that the people who are alive are in living hell right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Katrina is the only thing I think that will I think it'll be right under Katrina in terms of this type of thing. Maybe Andrew. I was very young back then.
Yeah. But then again, people don't really care about Florida as much as when hurricanes hit mainland.
I think we all respect you guys too much to feel sympathy for you.
This is like y'all's thing, right? Isn't this what y'all do?
Goddamn, son, did you lasso it? Motherfucker caught a gator out of that air, fed his whole family for a week. Like, no, he didn't. He didn't do any of that.
What is that, a category 5?
There.
Didn't your uncle strap himself to a tree during a category 5?
Dude, do you remember that show? I think it was called Key West. Lily. Vivian Lilly? What's that chick's name?
I don't know.
Evangeline Lilly? Nope, that's a different one.
Okay. What? It doesn't matter what her name is. What are you getting to? What happened in Key West? I never watched it, but producer Mark knows it.
They had a hurricane episode, and it was like very much. I remember when I was little. I watched it because she was so hot, and it was a very adult themed like drama, and she strapped herself to a tree and was like, "Take me!" Like it was like all these weirdos who lived in Key West kind of thing. That was in my mind, I was like, dude, people in Florida, apparently this happens to them every year, and they don't care.
Yeah.
This is what they like, dude. People in Key West, they get drunk, they have weird sex, and they fight hurricanes. That's what I thought at 10 years old. And in some ways, that never really left me. I found out about meth, and that got added to it. And other than that, I was like, that's Florida, dude. What are you going to do?
That's true. Although back then, it was heroin. Orlando was like the heroin capital of the U.S., if not the world at one point.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah.
Because I've heard that. Not about heroin, to be fair, but I've heard that about meth or opioids.
Yeah.
About several different places near where I grew up. And it's almost like the weird claim to fame. It's like, other than getting a women's prison, there's nothing that you could get more credit for than if you're like, we're the meth capital of the East, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think because I remember they celebrating them not being the capital anymore. So I do feel like
they have a party.
It was like big news, like, yay, we're not the heroin capital anymore. I do remember that being like our mayor was like, I'm so proud of us. We're not.
That party's just an AA meeting. It's just coffee and donuts. A lot of dudes sitting around tapping their feet, looking at the door.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my aunt was doing heroin at the time. It was like really cool. Like this was when heroin was really cool before we knew how bad it was.
Hell yeah, dude.
It was like
wave, bro.
You know what I'm talking about, when there was like, that was when like the heroin chic was in, and you know.
Have I ever told you about the time I did Oxy and then drank beer when I hadn't done a pain pill ever in my life, or maybe once?
No.
I'd like had dental work done or whatever, and they gave me a prescription, and then I was like, whatever. But then the numbness wore off, and I was like freaking out. And anyway, it's too long of a tale. We'd have to circle back later if we have time. But the upshot is, when I like got halfway through that second or third beer, that's the best I've ever felt in my life. I mean, it's not even remotely close. I think about it once a week. I was like, oh, this is what happened to him.
Well, good. It brought you understanding. I think it enlightened you, where maybe you could understand someone who committed themselves to such an experience.
Yeah, man. And listen, I'm not the fucking brave person. I've tried it since, and it didn't work as good.
I mean, that's the whole thing, right?
Was like, I think some part of my brain was like, don't let him have that ever again. Well, anyway, I have posted on my stories. I'm working on a post. I'm just trying to make sure that the post is appropriate, of places you can share. The only super strong opinion I have at the moment that I'm willing to share publicly about all this is that you do not need to send money to the Red Cross, the United Way, any of that shit.
Please, I mean, if anything, please don't. I'm so tired of. I mean, that's kind of where I think I talked to you about this. Remember, I was talking about a joke about getting a return on your investment if you want to be charitable. And I was like, I think the worst way you can do it is giving it to the March of Dimes or any of these big organizations that really don't. The money doesn't. It goes to them. You're just giving them money to not do anything. Or you could give somebody $200 crisp $100 bills at a McDonald's drive-through at 2 a.m. and they throw a parade for you by the second window.
Right.
And I feel like this is one of those times where this is the same thing to me as like during when we had George Floyd and all that shit. And there was like the money was going directly to human beings, or the money was going directly to get people out of jail for setting that fucking police station on fire. That's where my money went.
Unless you made the mistake of donating to the broad national conglomerate called Black Lives Matter LLC.
Yes,
or
which
whatever,
I didn't. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't either. And they fucking stole the money.
Yeah. Which at the end of the day, you could feel better about because you still did give black people a leg up. There's a handful, those people, they're flying first class now, which is nice to
black
see.
People got reparations.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they burn in hell. But what I'm saying to people, let me start at the top. Like the worst things I've ever heard. This is unverified in the sense of I heard this from somebody who heard this. I've never, but supposedly like in the past, people have shown up like with generators.
Mm-hmm.
And if FEMA or the United Way or the Red Cross is on the ground, they like take them. They're like, oh, we're running point here. And because they're the Red Cross and there's like sheriff's departments around, sheriff's departments are like, yeah, they're running it. And then no one gets them, or only half of them get given out. That's like the worst shit I've ever heard. That food doesn't make it to people.
Yes.
But stuff that I have absolutely verified is that they run every single quote unquote rescue as a PR opportunity.
Yeah.
It is, in my mind, completely true, completely proven. There's stories of people driving around in empty trucks after Katrina just to make it look like the Red Cross was out on the road.
Yep.
There's stories of them taking care of an area, but then pretending that they still need money so they can funnel that into their bank account. I'm just saying, my strong opinion, you guys do whatever you want to say, you should give to mutual aid groups. Now that bears the question, okay, Drew, what should we do? I'm working on a post or whatever, but mostly I would say follow on Instagram or Twitter, Eastern Kentucky Mutual Aid, Hillbillies Helping Hillbillies. And the reason I say that is I know her name is Misty Skaggs. She is a friend of mine. I know that she vets the people that she works with. I know that she knows people across the South who do mutual aid work. I know that she has dedicated her life to this. And if she says Tri-City Mutual Aid is doing good work and they need your money right now, I fucking believe her. So that's what I would do if I were you guys.
Some OG Gravy Baby, you might have seen Misty in our Eat Fruit and Fuck event. So you guys might have actually met her as well. So she's also not only a friend of you, but a friend of the podcast and a friend of other Gravy Babies, period.
A great poet, a great artist.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, some of you met her in person, probably, when DJ and I did the event way the fuck up in Kentucky. I don't even remember what town that was. Was that Whitesburg? Damn, that's been so long. That was when we had those NYU people there doing that prison outreach work.
Yeah,
we accidentally made them think that we were in a real cult. And the more we kept saying we weren't, the more they kept thinking that we were.
No.
But yeah, by the time this comes out, I plan on having something up where it's like, here's a list of people that I feel like, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm going to focus on Tennessee just because I think North Carolina is getting a lot of attention right now, completely understandably so. I just feel like there's a lot of towns in East Tennessee and a lot of mutual aid groups in East Tennessee specifically. I already mentioned Tri-Cities, who they've gotten a little behind the ball with their people. But wherever you can give, and you know what? If you're like, I don't know, I'm just going to send money to the Red Cross, I'm okay with it. Do whatever you want to do, but just my opinion.
Yeah. Again, to me, it goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. Independent That's where the money should be going right now, not to the biggest guys.
Well,
Because I
it's a
also feel
bummer.
they're also boots on the ground. You know, they're also in it. It's not some rep that's going there. They're in the thick of it. Like that's their community. I feel like
they're out there
that
with
always helps.
chainsaws. Yeah, they're out there with chainsaws, fucking pack mules. I saw this pack mule company that does like pack mule adventures to all the rich people in Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, you want to go on a 3-day hike with pack mules? And of course, rich people are like, I would love to cosplay as someone who has a hard life. So that's like the business. Well, they're hauling shit in, dude. Isn't that rad? I think that's rad as fuck, dude. Just like literally pack mule and supplies in.
Hell yeah, dude. Finally, the donkey's like, also, Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I don't have a fucking tourist on me. I'm actually doing good work.
Yeah, the mules are loving it, dude.
Like, this is what I was waiting for.
Mutual aid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mule starts with an MU. Mutual aid starts with an MU. Mm-hmm. Wake up, Carmen. Blue Jews, blue chews. Wake up.
Go to bluejews.com.
You're not seeing the patterns.
Yeah, I don't know.
Helene.
Please,
right,
please don't.
I'm begging of you. Please don't break my dam. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, yeah. Please. I mean, that was, yeah. Whew.
Here's my gravy, baby.
Okay.
I'm related to that with the pack mules, and I saw this dude being interviewed talking about, yeah, they told me they was going to arrest me if I flew my helicopter in there one more time. But, you know, I told them to arrest me. Do it when I get back. I got to go save these old people. I was like, yeah, arrest that grown man. I fucking dare you, you fat fuck pig cop. Anyway, here's what's gravy for me is, yeah, like people in the community helping each other already. It's just like, it sucks. It's really hard. I'm not trying to like put a positive spin on what is just so fucking gnarly, but I do think we are all we have, but I think we're seeing right now in Asheville that we can expand what we means. People are really trying.
Yeah.
I got so mad, and then I had to catch myself the other day. This woman was shopping at Walmart. She had a whole slew of stuff. She had come with a big group of donations from her church, and they were about to send a trailer up. And I was so furious that Walmart was just making bank.
Yeah.
And then I had to catch myself and be like, dude, Walmart's making bank no matter what. I should focus on the fact that this lady in her church is actually trying to be like Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, when you're thrusted with the real tragedy, I mean, that's usually, I mean, to be not to lighten what's happening, but that is when humanity is its shiniest. I always feel like that's when people, because that's not Walmart. That's when people are like, oh, we are in pain. We should help each other. We should, because I mean, that was always the thing in Florida. It was the same thing. It was always somebody's got a truck and we're going to go try to like haul shit out of people's, or, you know, buying pallets of water, shit like that. I mean, that's why I felt like I was nuts. But when they shut down the water downtown over COVID, and I was like, okay, so now these people ain't got nothing to drink. It was just like, okay, well, let's go bring some water downtown. Like, it was just like, I think there's just something that goes off in you when you're like, oh, I'm needed. This is what I need to do. I need to help. I need to provide assistance in some way. I think in times of need like this is oftentimes when that is like activated and out of people that oftentimes you wouldn't think. You didn't know they had that gear in them, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So I do think that is something that is the only kind of silver lining I can really think of it is, despite everybody, how they are online or what they believe or any of that, a lot of that gets thrown by the wayside when you actually have to be a decent human being.
Yep. I agree completely. On the other hand, the story of the cops guarding the Ingalls as the food rotted without power and they wouldn't let them in. I'm certain that was one dickhead manager who was cut off from corporate and I'm certain corporate would have been like, dog, give away everything because it's going bad anyway, and we do not need this press right now.
Yeah.
But that story, another story of like this helicopter pilot charging $1,000 per person to rescue people. And I'm sure like fuel's expensive, but like, dog, if you rescue 50 people and you tell the internet that and then you need to replace your fuel, like they'll get you back.
Yeah.
Hearing stories like
See,
that.
those are the GoFundMes. Like, I don't need a GoFundMe because whatever, people do GoFundMe for dumb shit, but that's a GoFundMe that would definitely people are looking for ways to be supportive. And instead of you
like,
trying,
hey guys, I spent all 50 grand of the fuel I had over here,
yeah,
and I need it back. Dude, you get 100. You'd have to give some of the money away. And what's going to happen is if that story gains traction and turns out to be true, that dude's going to lose his business anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something that's another tiny silver lining is Americans still really, really, really hate a bastard. Like if it's just totally obvious,
mm-hmm.
then that's a bastard, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking brutal. This made me think of the helicopter pilot that DJ and I rode with, and I was like, I bet he'd save people. I bet
he did.
Yeah.
I bet he's hammered drunk right now, flying
my
over
God.
fucking Boone.
I hope so.
I bet he's over Boone rescuing co-eds, dude.
I bet he's like, hold on, before I do my next run, I'm a little shaky. Let me go get a
Hey man,
fucking
you got any
screwdriver.
beers on that truck, or is it just water? Hey, where the Christians at? Can you get Jesus to turn some of this shit into wine? God, we got plenty of it. I know he walks on it, but that's kind of more into the other move.
Oh man, I wish DJ was here for that part. For all the parts, but that part specifically. Clint?
Quint.
No, Clint. I think it was Clint. CLINT.
Oh, dude.
Clint.
Dude, I hope Clint's like half cocked on a kratom drink, drunk as shit, flying that fucking helicopter. I hope he's like rescuing donkeys and shit, dude. I hope he's having the time of his life spending somebody else's gas money.
Truly.
I bet he is, and he's thinking of y'all. I bet he's thinking of DJ right now.
No, man. I wonder if I still have that guy's number.
I didn't know you guys' number. You should definitely call him and shame him if he's not rescuing people.
Yeah,
because it's one of two ways. He's either that, or he's like depressed somewhere. Probably got fired from that job, and just be like, Clint, this is how you win her back, dude. Go steal the helicopter.
Well, that was his helicopter. I think that was his helicopter. Like he bought it. So, but it was an old one. It was from 1984. And anyways, we're getting real tangential here. I hope Clint is out there in the thick of it.
All right, I've told this story on Barry's podcast before, but I'll tell you the quick version of it. I got my teeth kind of bent playing basketball, and it was when I was in law school, and I went to the dentist, and he was like, you might lose that tooth. It may turn into a dead tooth.
Oh, shit.
You should probably get temporary braces. And I had good student insurance, but only, on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one choice of who to put the temporary braces in. So I went to this old fucking guy who put temporary braces in. And I have an overbite.
Mm-hmm.
The brace came down behind my teeth, but like my bottom teeth were hitting it. So it was like in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And my gums were numb, so I was like playing with it, and it was like bothering me, and I was, kind of messed up on the grass and all that,
Yeah.
They gave me the script for the pain pills, and I was like, I don't want that. My brother was an addict. Fuck that. I don't do pain pills. That was like my attitude. And then when that numbing stuff wore off, not only was my mouth throbbing in pain, I had also shoved the temporary braces.
Oh, no.
Up. So I'm starting to like sweat. I can go ahead and tell you it's like some of the worst like mental feeling of it. It wasn't like the worst pain I've ever felt, but it was like it's in me, it's in my mouth, and it's like I can't. So I was like, Andy, we gotta go fucking get this prescription. I didn't even go like I'm hurting. It was like I just gotta have something.
Yeah.
So we went and filled the script. I took one, maybe two. And then I wasn't thinking about like this. I was a different person back then. I was a law student. Like I hadn't heard don't mix booze and pills, but I'd never done pills. I think I'd gotten high. No, I'd been a pipe for about a year, but like I just wasn't that guy yet, you know?
Gotcha. Okay.
So just like I was just drinking beer without, just like nervous, just fucking drinking heavy Sam Adams, like quarters or some shit.
Yeah.
And about 2.5 beers in, I think, I mean, buddy, the only thing I can describe it is like, I was like, this is what I felt like when I was 8 years old. Just like a release of every tension inside me. There was nothing in the world wrong except for one fucking thing.
Your mouth.
I still had to shit in my mouth.
I'm surprised you didn't go back to the
sewing kit.
doctor to make sure you weren't fucking up your gums or anything like that.
It was like 6 p.m. at this point.
Oh shit! So you couldn't
She's
go to the
close.
next day? Yeah.
So I go and get Andy's sewing kit. And I'll never forget this. She's like watching TV or something on the couch. And she has this tiny set of wire cutters in it. And I went to the bathroom and I clipped every wrap in the front of those temporary braces. And then I got a hold of it because it was still wrapped around the back. And I couldn't get it up in there and it clipped the back. So they were wrapped around my teeth. I'd have to pull them out around the tooth.
Oh shit!
So I'm like pulling metal through my face. Blood trickling down. Andy's just like watching TV. I see my face in the mirror and I start laughing because I think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life at that time.
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Andy looks over at me, looks back at the TV, looks back over at me, and just starts crying. Because I'm like,
Yeah, because you're a fucking bloody mess.
yeah. So the next day, I called the dentist and I was like, hey, blah, 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 temporary braces. I need to cancel my appointment for next week, or 2 weeks, whatever it is. She's like, okay, I'll do that for you. And then she's like, oh, sir, sorry. It says here you have temporary braces. You have to get those out. Now, if you don't want to come back here, that's fine. But, you know, you're canceling this. But those cannot stay in your mouth. And I said, oh, they're out. And she's like, oh, okay. You got somebody to take them out? And I said, I took them out.
Oh.
She said, I'm sorry, I think I misheard you. And I was just imagining her on the other, like me with this accent. Like, I took them out. And she goes,
Christ, Drew.
you took, sir, can you hold?
Yeah.
He gets the dentist. This old fucking dentist gets on the phone. He's like, hey, you got to come in. I got to take those out. Like, he's like been told and he's like confused. And I'm like, no, they're gone. I took them out.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
All that work you did
How?
yesterday, I got high and ripped the metal out of my face.
Carmen, literally, he goes, how? And I go, I took some of those pills you gave me, drink a bunch of beer, and I cut them out. And he goes, and then he just started cackling too. And in my head, I was like, he gets why this is funny, Andy.
Meanwhile,
Let
your
that
face
go.
looks like Carrie. You have fucking blood all over your face. She's fucking worried about you.
Carmen, it did look like Carrie, but I pulled those out, took a shower, cleaned up, and I'm not kidding you. It's the best I've ever felt in my life. I think half of it was the drug and half of it was getting them out.
Yeah. Just having that feeling.
That is the best day of my life. I have a son, and that was the best day of my life.
Well, I'm glad you found that, you know?
I'm not. Clearly ruined me. I'm
2
kidding.
pain pills, 2 Sam Adam Porters, and a pair of wire cutters.
Doing my own dental work, dude. I'm telling you, dude. Sometimes I do pain pills and get in touch with the ancestors. During the pandemic, I shaved my head. There's something about the white trash inside me where there's just times where it all comes. It's like I'm holding it back.
Yeah.
And then it all just fucking spews out.
It gets activated by something.
Yeah. And then suddenly I'm on the phone call with a doctor of dentistry explaining to him how I did it myself. They still talk about me, dude.
That is the
I know
most
for a
so
fact.
fuck that. I'll just do it myself. I don't need to come
Yeah.
back here. Yeah.
Once a year, he's just like looks at her, his assistant. He's like, "You think he was fucking with us?"
He just went to another dentist, right? He didn't really rip out those. He didn't rip out
How would
those
he make
metal
that up?
shards out of his face by himself, did he? Yeah,
And he's
he
like,
did.
"Yeah, I was gonna go on vacation to Nashville, but I don't think I want to meet any of those people." All right, Carmen, I got work to do. We
Okay.
started late, so we're gonna end early. I do have a show to plug. It feels weird to do, but I'm sort of contractually obligated. October 18th, 19th. What's the Friday?
18th, I believe.
18th.
Yeah.
October 18th, I will be headlining the Lookout Comedy Festival in Chattanooga. I'll be at the Comedy Catch. I'm pretty pumped about it.
October, Friday 18th, the 18th, yeah.
Donnie Marsh booked me. You guys know Donnie, Preacher Donnie from back in the...
Preacher
And we got a
Donnie!
lot of Church of the Eat Fruit fuckers coming up. Yeah. So, Chattanooga, come on out and see me. Take care of each other. I don't know, man. Sorry. I'm sorry that we sent billions of dollars to fight wars and not to help our people who are fucking rotting in their homes right now. But hey, man, what are you going to do? Should have joined the cult. What I tried to get y'all to. We should have moved on to a
Dude,
farm.
I mean, not to bring this completely, but that's always if the Jews control the weather, wouldn't they be using it in, you know, wouldn't the hurricane be in Palestine? You know what I'm saying?
They don't want the Palestinians to get a hold of their blue jellies.
That's what it is. Make shoes out of them. Remember the jelly shoes back in the 80s and 90s? I'm sorry. That's just, you keep saying these blue jellies, and I just keep thinking about these fucking plastic sandals that kids used to wear.
That would be the wildest fear. If like the one thing holding them back, they're like, yeah, we don't want to have shoes though, so we'll just bomb them.
It's just every time you said blue jellies, I kept thinking of these fucking sandals. Oh, and make your feet
They
stink
look like
because they were
Tide Pods.
plastic. Yeah.
Tide Pods, the tide, the ocean, the moon, the Jews. Think about it, Carmen. It's all there. By the way, this is how schizophrenics literally talk. Have you ever talked to one? They'll be saying shit like this.
Yes.
There's one in my family who has a scion, and the scion is a TC. That's what type of scion it is.
Yeah.
He's like, scion, TC, through Christ. Through Christ. Think about it. You're just like, I don't want to ever think about this ever again.
Yes.
So I'm gonna call my uncle and tell him about the blue jellies and the blue Jews. See what happens.
Mhm. So yeah, so anybody who wants to assist, go to Drew's page. He's gonna have a list of places that you can assist if you can and have the means to help out. It's always it's a goddamn nightmare. So any kind of help helps. Any kind of help helps. So we'll have a list of organizations, and I'm gonna be in where am I gonna be? I'm gonna be in Minnesota, very far away from all this action. I'm gonna be in Rochester, Minnesota, the 11th and 12th, and then St. Paul, Minnesota, the 18th and 19th. The 24th, I'll be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and then the 25th and 26th, my birthday weekend, I'll be in Janesville, Wisconsin, at the Comedy Cabin. If anybody, if we have any babies up there, come see.
I wanted to please go see Carmen, everybody. I wanted to add one thing. I'll be in Florida November 23rd. That wasn't it. I do know that there are some people, so like Bobby and Kristen are in Silva. Their community's not great, I don't think, but they're fine, you know. But I do know of some people, I don't want to say their names because that's like, I do know of some people, some OGs who have lost a lot. And I want them to know, if they happen to be listening, that we're with you.
Yeah.
But I also want people to know that as we learn more about this, there's going to be people that I care about. It's already true. who've lost a lot. My friend Melissa, who books shows in Nashville, her home is fine, but her business is, I guess, gone. I mean, some of the places she does shows are gone. My point of that is, another thing I will be doing eventually is trying to do some more like specific things. And I hope everyone will support whatever that is. I don't know yet. It's way too early, but some of our people are going to need us.
Yeah.
Very directly. Very directly. I know of some people who've like lost their home. And it's too early to like talk about that yet, but like, we're going to help.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Bobby,
anyway.
I just got a text. I think you did too. A text. Bobby is with DJ right now, and it says proof of life. So, it was nice. It's nice to see both of them smiling, even though they're obviously stressed the fuck out.
It says what? Because you cut out for a second. It says
proof
what?
of life. You'll see it on your phone when we
nice.
finish. But it's a picture of the two of them.
Hell yeah.
I'll post it in the Discord.
Hell yeah. Take care of each other. Love each other. Mark, did you leave in the compliment that Carmen gave me? It's at the top.
Yes.
Cool. I was just wondering. I just wanted to circle back.
Piece of shit.
You could stick a whole ribeye in one of your back pockets. Like,